Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trading Capital's daily live stream of the market open. Today is currently CPI day, May 10th, and as we kick off the new trading sessions, markets are going to be gapping up. They are ripping. If you look at the S&P 500, we closed at 410. We've gapped up all the way to 413.98. I have on the spiders here, we're actually pulling off slightly from the high. The high was 414.91 in the pre-market. So we're just going to mark this off 414.91 on the pre-market, just so we have our high to trade against right now, right basically there. And you can see we're trading at about 414 right now, so a slight little pullback, but definitely a strong move on the CPI print. And CPI came in with that 4.9, so the 4 handle on the CPI, which is why market participants are liking. Now we are at a critical inflection point here where how much is CPI really going to start to decrease from this point on? I mean, there's still sticky components of the CPI, but as of now, market participants are liking the overall change in number. So, trade setups right now, it's tough to chase the S&P 500 off of that initial gap up. I would wait for bullish consolidation to move higher. A big level on the S&P right now on the spiders is, let me just do a double check on my daily. The big level on the SPY is going to be the high of 414.82. If we get a close above 414.82, this market could definitely trend a bit higher. So basically 414.82 is right around this red bar breakdown. You can see we actually did pierce in the pre-market, but have pulled in somewhat slightly off of that level. Now, there are some trades that I'm looking at. I did go long pair with my members at the pre-market open. We got an average entry of 16.57, and it's already up about 20 cents. So let me just erase some of these lines here. But basically, we went long pair at 16.57 with our members, and it's already up about 20 cents from that level. So that's good to see. We did short coin at around 61.90. This is a swing trade position, 61.90. So it has pulled in off of the highs. A couple trades I'm looking at here. Airbnb gapping down on earnings. So I have a technical level basically down. Let me just pull up my other chart here. Just bear with me. All right, so I have a technical level at 104.36. 104.36 on Airbnb, which is basically all the way down to here. So that's kind of the level I'm watching and looking for. And then we're also looking at Twilio, TWLO. That one's under pressure already this morning. TWO is trading down quite substantially off of that earnings drop. You have hit some pretty decent support, so believe it or not, this is a good technical level to look to go long. So TWLO, let me just compress the screen. But basically 45.20 we've already tagged. That's kind of my first long level, and then 42.80. So 45.20 is a decent level. It's a technical gap. We did hit that in the pre-market, and you're getting a small little bounce. So I'm interested in going long TWLO. You have Cell H, so Celsius, which is a small cap, IWM small cap, gapping up in the earnings report. It's basically coming into this beautiful double top zone. So let me just show you here. But basically the double top is trading at around 122.42. Now where I think I like this stock for a short is basically if we pierce that double top and we come into this 126 level. So pierce of 126. So short on Cell H, keep that on your radar. We also have KRE, which is gapping up. So the regional banks, I do have a short level on the KRE. It's a little bit lower, or sorry, it's a little bit higher. But in terms of where I would short the KRE, let me just erase some of these lines here. Where I would short the KRE is into this resistance point here. So we're talking about 39 bucks if we can get up there. It's a little bit high, but 39 I would be interested in shorting the KRE. Let me just double check that on my level here. So 38.49, you have the 50 daily moving average, which should be some decent resistance. 38.49 is the more aggressive level. And the more conservative level is at 38.95. So keep that on the radar. IWM is kind of a very similar play. That's also gapping up right now. Let me just erase all these drawings. But basically where I would consider shorting the IWM is right around these two major pivot points. You have a gap fill and you have this reversal wick high, a little bit of resistance from the 50. So basically 177.32, I would consider shorting it. And that's pending if we get a straight move into that level as of now. So the dollar had a big collapse on that news, but it actually is trying to rebound off of the lows, which is kind of intriguing. And you did get a 10-minute engulfing candle, bullish engulfing candle off of the low, which means that maybe the dollar is going to continue to push higher, and this market rally is just going to be faded. If this market rally is faded, it likely means we have put in a probably a significant high in the market. Gold had an initial surge, a pretty big pop, and now it's pretty much given half of that move back. Bitcoin is trading well today, so off of any bullish pattern on Bitcoin, we can probably look to play some of the plays like MARA on the long side, RIOT, but again, I'm not chasing these. I would rather wait for a bullish pattern to develop to chase them off of the open, because it is looking like we're pulling off from the highs here. So what's interesting is you had that gap down over support, triggered a head and shoulders, retested, failed, and now you're gapping back up over that neckline, which kind of negates that move. There is a short on BTC via the BITI that I would consider. Basically anything around the 28,648 level. 28,650 level, kind of there. I'm not liking that it did have a pullback, so we may have to adjust that, but that's a potential. Alright, so markets are going to be set to open in 3 minutes. We have our plays that we're watching. Full disclosure, I did pick up some Twilio at, I got an entry at 45.98. 45.98. I will look to accumulate a little bit more if it dips to that gap fill at 45.30. So we'll keep Twilio on the radar, but I am long at 45.98, starter position. It's a 1-6. You have natural gas and oil under some slight pressure today. I'm still watching gold reverse. The dollar's actually trying to push up here, which is kind of surprising. Alright, so big levels on the spiders are at that 415 level, and then you have a gap fill at 415.62. Alright, so get ready for the market open here, guys. We are set to open in a few minutes. If Twilio dips that 45.30, I would consider adding. Nvidia is up to 290, pushing up on the charts. Keep Airbnb on watch. All right, markets are open here, guys. Markets are open. We have Twilio under pressure. Coinbase is pushing up. Nvidia is reversing. Spiders are holding, but they look to be seeing some distribution right off of the bat. Paramount's reversed. Coin has reversed from the highs. All right, Twilio's pushing up. So you had an opportunity to enter in there. I repeat, I have at 45.98 long on Twilio, and I will add at this 45.20. But markets are still acting pretty resilient here. Sell H is coming up, pushing up, so keep that on your radar. Sell H. Upstart's pushing. Airbnb hasn't hit my level yet. Airbnb is still off of my level. It hasn't quite hit it. Has not quite hit the level yet. Spiders are still hanging in near the highs. Twilio's trying to push up and fight here, but it is running into some near-term resistance. Nvidia is trying to hold on. Alright guys, I just exited my Twilio here, 46.82 for a lovely 84 cents. Boom. Exit at 46.82. Alright, next level on Twilio is 45.30. It never officially filled that gap. It is pushing up a lot more now. Spiders new highs. They are trying to rally here. Wow, look at that move on Twilio. Apple's surging now, lifting the spiders tremendously here. I do have a Coinbase short coming up into the daily 50. A Coinbase short coming up here at 62.77. 62.77 we can short Coinbase. Mostly everything is up today. Everything's catching a pretty decent bid. Apple's surging. Apple's pushing up, so that's going to lift the S&P. Pretty big here. I do have a short level on the NASDAQ at the QQQ at 326. It's not there yet, but 326. Gold I find is interesting. It's actually reversed quite substantially. Gold is actually reversed very hard here. So this primarily looks like just a mega cap rally again, which I find very, very interesting. Nvidia surging. Nvidia at gap fill 291.50. We can look for a potential short. Wow, coin is reversed. Let's look at the spiders here. They're still hanging in there, basically all the way up there. Pre-market, it still hasn't hit that pre-market high. That is a potential fade level as well. Let's see what Airbnb is doing. Airbnb has had a nice bounce. Wow, Paramount's getting obliterated right now. Again. TCRX up 19%. Let's take a look at this TCRX. NVAX. Let's take a look at NVAX. NVAX had a pretty sharp reversal. But the markets have had a pretty astonishing rally here. Coinbase is reversing from the highs. Look at this move in gold. That's very interesting that gold is not holding on to its rallies. Maybe this market sees some big time distribution. If gold is reversing from the highs, even though the dollar is weak, that's a little concerning. Nvidia is coming in sharply now. Coinbase is coming in sharply. So big sell-offs occurring here. PayPal's still weak today. Upstart is surging higher. Nat gas is falling now from the highs. Nat gas is currently down 2.62%. Nvidia is reversing from the highs here. Sending out an alert there. We have the regionals fading. You have Bitcoin trying to push up. Nvidia is trying to see some distribution. Still up on the day. Over 1% here. Spiders are trying to fade off of the highs. Qs are still holding up fairly well here. AMD's pushing. Twilio's off the lows. A lot of things are moving. Airbnb's down 12% still. Wow, big sell-off on Nvidia coming in here. Look at the sell-off on Nvidia. It is reversing pretty sharply here. Nvidia's fading. XOM is also fading pretty sharply here. So looking like this market could see some downside. That would be interesting. Very interesting. So look at this fade on the spiders starting to occur. Definitely interesting fade on the spiders. Nvidia is almost back to the flat line. Still up 0.86%. Still interested in Twilio if it comes down a little bit more. But it has had a significant bounce. But a topping tail forming on the 10-minute chart of the SPY. Qs are still holding up better. Oil is starting to fade now as well. You have Sell H holding up near the highs of the chart. I'm still interested in shorting Sell H at around 126. Copper's fading. McDonald's is holding up. But what I'm noticing is the semis, specifically Nvidia, rolling heavy here. And if this market gives up most of its gains, that's pretty concerning. Wow, look at this big down move coming in the spiders. Big down move in the spiders. China stocks have caught a nice bid. Spiders are falling pretty sharply right now. XOM, we may have a long level on XOM. Let me just isolate down a decent technical level. But basically, if XOM was to flush into 107.55. 107.55, we could go for a long on XOM. Spiders are now trying to catch a little bit of a bid with some of these important stocks like Nvidia catching a bid. Let's take a look at the SMH. AMD is actually holding up very well compared to Nvidia. It hasn't faded, so that's a relative strength definitely in AMD. Spiders are still fading. Let's look at the Qs. And look at the Russell here. Look at the Russell. That's starting to also fade, but the spiders are clearly where the relative weakness is. And that's going to be very bearish if we see the spiders fill that gap and reverse from the highs. Steel stocks are reversing as well. Tyson Foods is coming in. Big moves down here coming in the markets. Let's see what Meta's doing here. Meta's also coming in. Spiders, Microsoft. Wow, look at this down move coming in the spiders. That's pretty hard selling. We will see if this market fades this whole rally. That's not very good considering that we've now approached that 5 handle on the overall CPI print. Big move down on the spiders coming in, guys. Big move down. Look at the spiders. Wow. And look at that dollar rebounding. It's a big move down in the market. Nat gas is still weak. KRE actually just went negative. Nope, it's still slightly positive, but it's about to go negative. The KRE regionals is about to go negative. Nvidia is now about to go negative and fill its gap. It's holding on. It is holding on. Let's do a quick check of that sell H. Oh, that sell H is almost it almost hit that 125 level. 126, sorry, is actually the level. Let's take a peek at sell H here. Let me just do a quick volume check, make sure we have enough volume right now. Yeah, we only have, we have 205,000. It's still fairly light. So 126.40 up here, I would short sell H. It's a little light on the volume front, but it could still work out. Spiders are catching a small bounce here. Just a small bounce. Yields are starting to fall a little bit more. So Nvidia caught a pretty big bid, just missed the gap fill. Markets are trying to get a nice push now. Airbnb still down 12%. Hasn't hit our level. LI is pushing up. PayPal's still weak today. Let's look at PayPal. PayPal's interesting for a long here. I'm considering PayPal on the long side, but I'm just wanting to see if this market fades anymore. So just the one winner on Twilio for us. The volatility just got sucked out of the market though. Nvidia's bouncing. AMD's still holding up very, very well here. AMD did fill a key technical gap to the upside. Coinbase is pushing up. Wow, big surge on Coinbase now. $62.69 is a potential short on coin. $62.69. Dollar's starting to soften up a little bit. Dollar's starting to soften up, which should provide some room for the market to breathe a little. Keep coin on your radar for a short. I am interested in shorting coin here. $62.69. Spiders are seeing a little bit more selling now coming in, trying to. AMD is pushing up to a new high. There's a short level on AMD at 100.3, so 100.3 I would consider. Natural gas is fading pretty sharply here. Coinbase not quite hitting that level. Spiders are still fading here. They're at the lows of the session, testing the lows. I am liking XOM for a potential long trade. Needs to go a little bit lower. But spiders have almost given up all of the gains. Tesla's still up 2. Amazon's up 2.2. So you're seeing the mega cap tech holding up. The Qs are definitely where the strength is. Keep coin on watch here. I'm going to be shorting coin here. 62.69 or higher, we can short coin. It's almost there, guys. Bitcoin's trying to move up. Whoops, sorry. So spiders have faded pretty much the whole move. KRE just went negative. IWM is still holding on, but looking to go negative. Let's take a look at UPS. I'm watching coin on my other screen and I'll call it out if I go short. Wow, UPS is getting decimated right now. Look at this move down on UPS. That's not good. Taking out the earnings lows. That's very, very bad. That's very bad. Let's look at the Dow transports. They're holding up, but finding rejection at that 200 moving average. Spiders are fading hard here. Wow, look at this fade. They've almost gone negative. Can we believe that? XOM, I'm interested in playing XOM on the long side. Keep that on your radar. So this is all mega cap tech. The Qs, the spiders have pretty much faded, but the Qs are holding up very, very well. Keep XOM on the radar. Wow, the markets, this is an incredible fade on the spiders though. What an incredible fade. Almost filling that gap. It is an aggressive level to trade on the SPY at that gap fill, but it is doable. Just seeing if there's any other opportunities here for us. At the moment, I'm not seeing anything. Ooh, look at this sell H. Alright guys, I'm going to pick up some sell H short here, 128. Oh, I didn't get filled. Shit. I did not get filled. Damn it. Did not get filled. Alright, that trade's pretty much done. I'll keep it on my other screen. Coin's trying to push up here. XOM still looking a little weak. Still interested in playing XOM if we can pierce this 107.48 level. I'd consider going long XOM, but I'm seeing oil pretty weak right now. So that's really the only concerning thing. KRE is starting to come down more. So now Apple's starting to come down. If Apple goes negative, that's not a healthy sign for this market. Palantir's up 4. Open is up 15. UPST's up 34. But spiders just keep seeing sell side pressure. Airbnb has had a bounce off of the lows. If sell H was to push up to 130 now, 130 is the next level on sell H to short. 130. Markets are still fading here. But it's so far the markets are still fading off of the highs. Kind of settling down. The initial volatility was pretty immense. It was pretty immense. Now you're seeing Bitcoin come down a little bit more. That's going to put pressure on PayPal. So far the Qs are still holding up very, very well. There's a massive discrepancy in the Qs and what the spiders are doing. Notice how the spiders have almost gone negative, but the Qs are holding up very, very well. KRE's negative. Russell's trying to go negative. Gold's catching a small bid. Let's see if we can get some more downside in the market. Hopefully we can see a bigger flush so we can get some long trade opportunities. Steel stocks are still very, very weak, being faded right off the hop. Tyson Foods is still exceptionally weak. Twilio is holding up. Still watching this XOM level, but it's just hovering here. XOM's coming lower here. I'm not going to take that initial level because we hovered too long. I want to see if we can get a flush. I'm watching oil. Oil's a little weak now too, so I'd love to see a little bit more of a flush on oil to potentially go long XOM. You can see there is some support there. I'm going to time XOM to see if we can hit XOM as the spiders hit that gap fill. AMD still up a couple percent, so still lots of pockets of strength in this market right now. Apple's starting to definitely fade off the highs some more. XOM's coming down. I'm going to try to go long XOM as the spiders hit their gap fill or test that double bottom pivot. So you're into some support now on the XOM trade, but I want it a little bit lower. I think we can get it just a tiny bit lower. PayPal is catching a small little bid. Spiders are catching a bid here now, so XOM's catching a bid. And one of the big mega caps that's holding up very well is Tesla. Markets are getting a push here. Oil's starting to see some more weakness, coming down a little bit more. So this is really mega cap tech that's only participating in this rally. That's very, very interesting. I find that extremely interesting. Dollar's fading off of the highs a little bit, or it's a little bit of a high that it just made. So the dollar is fading. Spiders are getting a nice little bid here. Microsoft's pretty much back to the highs, holding up well. Still seeing regionals under a lot of pressure. Even the big major banks have reversed. So again, this is really only the Qs that are holding this market up right now. The Qs is where the strength lies. And that's probably due to Amazon, Google, Apple, and obviously Nvidia is positive, AMD. Let's take a look at this LI. It's a pretty good resistance level on LI. Big bid coming in the Qs. XOM's getting a bid. Spiders didn't fill that gap, which leaves me a little suspect. Big bid in the markets though coming in. Even PayPal's kind of interesting down here. It is down 1.8. Big market bid coming in. Big market bid coming in. So the spiders are getting a nice bid. No other trades yet. Nat gas is falling pretty sharply here. There might be a long trade on nat gas. Let me just take a peek here. We're still seeing energy down, materials down, real estate's up, utilities are up, consumer staples weak, industrial's weak, communications up, consumer discretionary up, financials are weak, healthcare strong, tech is strong. So it's not a full broad market rally in the market as of yet. You have copper down, the Dow is up, transports are up. Let's take a look at that UPS again. That caught a nice bid. So spiders are now, so this is what it's interesting is the spiders reversed and closed back below that neckline. And now this is going to be a big inflection point. Will we get back above that level? That's going to be the next big level to watch and see. But nat gas is seeing some heavy downward pressure right now. Spiders are finding some near-term resistance, but they are above that little trend line as of now. And it'll be a positive if it can close above there. Microsoft's pushing up. Mega cap tech is pushing up. Qs are basically almost at the highs of the chart. The Qs did put in a 10-minute topping tail, but they're holding up right now. Meta's seeing some pretty decent selling. Apple's still pushing up. Microsoft's still pushing up. So clearly a lot of strength still in this market. Look at this QQQ strength. Guys, I'm going to short the Qs if it gets up here. I'm going to short the Qs if it gets up there. I'm going to buy the QID, so it's a double levered play. If the Qs push up to here, I'm going to short the QQQ by going long the QID. Nat gas is still weak, down today 3%. QQQ is pushing up some more here, guys. Wow, what volatility. Big move down, big move up. It's wild. Keep the Qs on watch here. AMD's up 3.4. Amazon's ripping. Twilio's still down 13. Alright guys, get ready to buy. I'm going to be buying QID. Alright, I just bought some QID here. I got filled at 17.18. 17.18 on the QID. 17.18 on QID. I just got filled on QID at 17.18. Starter position. Starter position. They are starting to push up some more here. QQQs. So we're long the QID at 17.18. Markets are continuing to try to push. What a rip on the Qs there. Next ad level on the Qs will be 17.08 and 16.98, basically every 10 cent down. QQQ seeing a little resistance here, but still very, very strong. So you're still seeing strength in the mega caps. Nvidia is starting to fade away here. You can see the Qs are still hanging in. So Nvidia's fading now. Apple's still strong. Microsoft's still strong. Qs are still near the highs of the session. So the spiders look like they may be putting in a potential lower high. Potential lower high. So we're now flat on our QID trade. I think we look for about 10 cents on the QID. But Qs are still acting very, very strong here. Fighting this resistance level. Next resistance on the Qs is going to be, just bear with me. Spiders are pushing up, Qs are still pushing. So Qs are trying to pierce this trend line. Coin just hit the 50 daily moving average. Coin just hit the 50 daily moving average. Meta's getting a big push now. You have Upstart still trying to hold on to most of its gains. Airbnb is still off of the lows. GDX is lagging gold. Still just waiting. We're down about 3 cents on the QID as of now. Spiders still haven't taken out the highs, and the Qs are trying to close above this wick. So Qs are at the highs. XOM's had a massive bid. Oil's catching a bid now. China stocks are rallying. So Tesla just made a new high. Apple's pushing up some more. Nvidia still hasn't taken out its high, but it's acting well. Definitely seeing some strength in Nvidia. Regional banks are starting to come down. Let's look at TWLO. That's had a big bounce. ABNB. NVAX. This company should see more downside. This stock should see more downside. I have a level down at 869 that should hit probably today. PayPal's had a big bounce. PLTR is one of these moving stocks. That's actually very extended. Palantir. You're coming up into this double top zone. I would love to see it hit 1092 for a short, but this is an aggressive level. It is an aggressive level. Qs did close above that 10-minute high, so the Qs made a higher high, but the spiders did not. So definitely strength continuing to be in the Qs and weakness in the spiders. You're seeing the Russell starting to downtick just a little bit here. Amazon is moving up pretty sharply here. So the Qs may lift this market single-handedly. It's a pretty big move in the Qs. AMD's at the high of the day, continuing to push and grind higher. Nvidia is seeing some more selling now. Palantir's holding up. Qs are still holding up here. Haven't taken out the high yet. You're still seeing a lot of strength in Microsoft. Apple's obviously holding up well. Good volume today in the markets. Really good volume. Markets are kind of just settling down now that initial volatility's been shaken out. Still very interesting to see the market had that big reversal. So it looks like another push is trying to come into the Qs here. They're still at resistance. GDX is still negative on the session despite the big market rally. Apple's up 1%, 1.1. Nvidia's up 1.4. AMD's the standout powerhouse. That one's definitely booming higher. Moderna's very, very weak today. So even with the big push in the market, it's still very, very interesting to see some individual stocks weak. I'm actually looking at shorting mRNA. It's triggering a break of this key pivot zone over here. And if it breaks this, it's likely going to test this pivot lower at around 131. So the Qs are seeing a little bit of resistance. Very minor though. Very, very minor. Take a SPHR, Sphere Entertainment. That one's getting demolished. Might be a long trade here. No, not liking it. Spiders are pushing, Qs are also pushing. Looking at shorting mRNA if we get a retrace back to this little neckline here. Alright guys, I just picked up an mRNA short. mRNA short at 132.30. 132.30 I got filled at. 132.30. You can even get a better fill than me. This is a started position. It's looking like it's going to be a trend day to the downside on mRNA. Markets are getting a nice bid though. mRNA is catching a bid here. Qs are still pushing up. I'm going to add to my mRNA at 132.75. 132.75. I'll add to my mRNA short. Spiders are pulling in, the dollar's softening. We're seeing mRNA holding up really well here. Qs are still stuck at resistance. They're fighting. Russell's trying to go negative. The regionals are negative, so that might be a little indication that the Russell's likely going to go negative. A target we can look for on mRNA is about 30 to 50 cents. Spiders are coming down now. mRNA is starting to fade a little bit more. Even the Qs are fading, so we're in the money on our QID. We're in the money on our mRNA. So look at this QID push, guys. That's a big push on the QID. Looking for about 10 cents, this gap fill. Get ready to exit our QID here. It's a nice little fade coming in. mRNA is kind of weak right now, breaking down. Qs are rolling heavy here. Spiders are rolling even heavier. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this push. One more little dip. mRNA, we're nice and positive on that trade. Qs are coming down here, guys. Alright, I hit target on the QID. I just sold at 17.29. Boom. That's 11-cent gain. Only had 100 shares on that position. It was a 1.6. Let's look at mRNA here. But look at this rollover in the Qs. That's a nice rollover. So we executed at resistance. And now markets are looking a little bit troublesome. Spiders still haven't filled its gap. So we netted a lovely gain on QID, on Twilio, and now we're just managing mRNA. And we'll see if we can get some more action. Meta's rolling over a little bit more as well. Oil's putting in a bear flag on the intraday. It almost makes me want to short XOM here, but I'm going to see if we get the next bounce. I may consider shorting XOM. Q's got a little bit of a bounce. mRNA, we're still slightly in the money there. 1/6 position. Paramount's exceptionally weak. Palantir's still holding up. Tesla's still up 2.4. Spiders are catching a small bid. I am interested in potentially shorting XOM. It's looking like it wants to head a little bit lower on the chart based off of the price action of oil. So definitely keep XOM on watch. mRNA is catching a bid. Qs are catching a bid. Look at the relative weakness. The spiders are really still hovering around this gap fill. But it does look like XOM may head lower at some point here. So I am interested in shorting XOM. Let's just get the spider bounce out of the way. Let's see if we can get a push up. If we can get a push up to the high end of the range, I'd look to short XOM. AMD's a monster, just chugging along higher and higher. mRNA had a little bit of a bounce. Alright guys, I just shorted XOM at 108. Oh, no, I didn't get filled. I apologize, I did not get filled. 108.10 was my level, but I did not get filled. I repeat, I did not get filled. Still interested. Oh, that 108.10 level did not fill me. We may get another shot at it. mRNA is just hovering at our level. Spiders are looking weak. Alright, XOM's coming back up, guys. See if we get another little push up here. Spiders are hanging in there. We may get another little push here. Meta's trying to go negative. Apple's still hanging in there. Let's watch mRNA. Do have a gap fill down here. It's a tiny one on mRNA around 130, 145. Alright, XOM starting to come back up. Let's see if we can get one more little push on XOM. And I will look to short it. Alright, I just grabbed a short on XOM at 108.10. 108.10. So we're short XOM and we're short mRNA. We're just waiting on that aspect of the market. I'm seeing the dollar try to move up. I'm seeing a little bit of weakness in oil. This is kind of more of a little bit of a potential trend play. I'm seeing some little bit of bearish consolidation in the energy sector. And energy is actually one of the weaker sectors today. If you look at XLE, it is down quite substantially. So XOM's continuing to push up here. I will add to XOM basically at 108.45. 108.45. Spiders are getting a big push here. Qs are trying to push up. Gold's still lagging. Regionals, IWM's getting a bid. Nvidia's trying to push up. Meta's seeing some weakness. AMD's at the high. There's a potential short on AMD at around 100.29. So it's almost there. It's about $1 away. So keep that on watch. mRNA is trying to push up as well. So is XOM. Oil still putting in potential bearish consolidation. It's holding the 100 hour, or it's holding the 200 moving average on the hourly basis, but it is starting to see some sell side pressure on oil. Airbnb never hit our level. Nvidia is trying to push up again. mRNA is still weak, just hovering at our level there. So XOM is doing a slight divergence from oil, the price action of oil. Spiders are catching a bid here. Nvidia is trying to make a charge for the high of the day. AMD is pushing up some more. So the strength is in the semis today. Semis and tech. Tesla's starting to see some weakness. So XOM seeing a little bit of distribution now. Palantir still up 10%. That's an incredible move on Palantir. Definitely incredible. Off of the highs though. So mRNA, we're just flat on that. Slightly 10 cents out of the money. Here comes XOM though. We'll see if it starts to fade with the spiders. Dollar's still acting weak today. It's interesting to see gold just went negative while the dollar is down. Nvidia is charging higher. Nvidia and AMD look like they're going to attack that gap together. So AMD gap is around 100.29, and then the Nvidia gap is roughly 291.50. So AMD looks like a short if it hits this 100.29 level. Does look like a short to me, so keep that on your radar. I am going to short AMD if it hits that level. XOM starting to come down a little bit here. I think we can get a test of these lows again. But definitely keep AMD on watch because that one's pushing higher. mRNA is pushing up, so that one's slightly going against us right now. So I'm going to add to my mRNA if it pierces this 132.75 level. Seeing the spiders acting a little weak right now. You're seeing the regional bank after being up, I believe it was 2%, it's now down 1.15. Oil's starting to down tick some more. So that's helping our XOM trade. Spiders are catching a small bid here. Oil just got a little bit of a bid there. Weird price action coming in here. Very weird. AMD still hasn't filled that gap. It's very close. It's trying. Look like it's trying. I'm seeing oil trying to move up here, so just monitor XOM. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put probably a break-even stop loss here. Guys, I'm going to put a break-even stop loss on XOM because I am seeing oil trying to push up. Break-even stop loss at 108.10 on XOM because I'm seeing oil pop. I'm seeing oil pop. Alright, I just got stopped out break-even. Oil is popping here. Break-even stop just hit on XOM. I am seeing the WTI catch a pretty big bid there. That's why I wanted to just potentially move my stop there. I am interested in shorting XOM again because it is still putting in technically bearish consolidation, but we'll let it go a little bit higher. The dollar's trying to make a move up now. Alright guys, I just added to my mRNA at 132.76. 132.76. My average now is sitting at 132.52. $132.52 average, so it's pulling off of that little level there. XOM's starting to pull back a little bit as oil pulls back. So that one's in the short candidate again. I'm going to see if we can get a little bit more consolidation. Nvidia's pushing up, so the Qs are pushing up. Oil's still pushing up. Let's watch the spiders. As XOM, I'll watch on my other screen. So mRNA is starting to come down a little bit here. The dollar's trying to push up and make another little run. That should put pressure on oil, but it's holding up surprisingly well here. Oil is holding up surprisingly well here, despite the dollar pushing up. So we're basically flat on mRNA. If oil gets one more, alright guys, I'm going to short XOM if it hits the, actually no, I'm going to stay away because oil's looking stronger. It's looking like it wants to recapture 73 bucks. So let's let it do its thing. We're just watching mRNA. GDX is starting to fade pretty sharply here. Spiders are trying to catch another little bid. KRE is still very, very weak. If that one puts in more bearish consolidation, we can short the KRE ETF. Looks like it wants to keep trending lower today. Alright, we're nicely in the money now on mRNA. Still think we can get 40 to 50 cents out of that. Especially if the market breaks down. I mean, right now you just have the strength in the Qs that's holding things up. Nat gas is, of course, getting pummeled. Big reversal on oil, so this is where XOM comes back into play because oil is reversing. So I'm going to grab some XOM short here at 108.21, 108.21, 108.21. We are getting a pullback here. So it's back to that 108.21 level. Nice little pullback coming in. Spiders are seeing some sell side pressure. mRNA, XOM's coming down slightly. Here comes XOM. Oil's starting to break. Regionals are also starting to fade a little lower. So is nat gas. Nat gas just can't get out of its own way today. Spiders are putting in bearish consolidation. mRNA, we're flat on that trade. XOM right back up. Oil's trying to catch another little bid, so is XOM. Gold just went negative again. Silver also reversed, so that's intriguing. That's certainly intriguing. AMD's reversing now, so pretty much AMD's first little sell side pressure of the day. Moderna's coming back down. XOM we're in the money. mRNA we're slightly in the money, but I want more on mRNA. I think we can get more. Ooh, big drop on mRNA, guys. Nice little drop on mRNA there. So that was a good drop. Let's see if we can ride this down some more. Let's see if we can ride this down some more. Here we go. This is a nice drop. Spiders are trying to break down. So is XOM. Nice breakdown on oil. Oil just made a new low. Oil's breaking down. Look at this. XOM is going to get demolished here, guys. Oil's getting plummeted right now. Alright, oil's dropping significantly. Oil is dropping significantly. Let's pull up this mRNA chart because that's getting pummeled right now too. So we're nicely in the money. I'm going to put a stop loss at 132.25 on mRNA to lock in some gains. 132.25. Oh, I just got stopped out there for a nice gain. For a nice gain on mRNA. I stopped out at 132.25. Let's just manage this XOM trade because it is starting to come down. So we got about a, that was a 30, what is that? Let's just quickly calculate that. That was a 28-cent gain on mRNA. 28-cent gain. P&L. 40.48. Nat gas is still coming down. Oil's still weak. So I think we're going to get more based off of this WTI chart. Basically breaking the lows. Bearish consolidation break. XOM's putting in that same bearish consolidation, but it hasn't broken the lows just yet. Just yet. So definitely pay attention to that because it's looking very, very weak. Regionals, gold's also falling more. Still holding up though, XOM, surprisingly. Nvidia is seeing some weakness. Nat gas, new lows. Nat gas is just getting pummeled today, down. What is it? Down 3.7%. Jeez. Getting absolutely decimated. So Nvidia is starting to see a potential failed double top there on the intraday. Guys, I am interested in potentially shorting the Russell as well, the IWM. Spiders still haven't filled their gap. Alright guys, I just shorted the Russell as well. Wow, look at that drop on mRNA. I just shorted the Russell. I got filled at, let me just take a quick peek here. Oh, they did not fill me. But 137.83 is the level here. 137.83. Oh, come on. They don't want to fill my Russell short here. That's too bad. I'm not filled. I am not filled. I repeat. Which is kind of a blessing in disguise, to be honest. They want to do a risk review of the account. I guess the Russell's just a little bit more dangerous to short. Oh, come on. Alright, they're not filling my Russell order here. So basically, they're trying to do a little risk review on the account. I may just look to play mRNA again, because it is bouncing right now. XOM is still coming down. Oil's still weak right now. Nat gas is still weak. Tesla's starting to fade pretty sharply here. Spiders are looking exceptionally weak as well. So is the Russell. If you pull up the spiders here, they're looking like they want to come fill this gap. They are also a short at this level. Looks like they're going to fall pretty sharply here. Big sell coming in the spiders. Let's watch our XOM. Oil's breaking. The dollar's trying to catch a small bid. Spiders are about to hit their gap fill, but it's likely going to go lower. Next support on the spiders is 410.44. Big drop on mRNA. Big drop coming in on XOM. So spiders just went negative. Let's see how much more downside we can get. But nat gas is getting pummeled today. Spiders still haven't spiders just filled their gap. They did fill their gap. Alright, I'm going to protect my XOM trade with a stop loss at 108. So I'm going to lock in 20-cent gain. 20-cent gain at the minimum. And every 5 cents the spiders fall, I will adjust it a little bit lower. So we're about to get stopped out here at 108 on XOM. Alright, I'm moving it to 107.95 just to lock in some more. Alright, I just got stopped out there on XOM, 107.95, 107.95 for a nice little gain. Alright, so that basically is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 5 today. Day trading, that's pretty fantastic. 10:43. Wow, time flies. Alright, I'm probably going to wrap this stream up today because that is a wrap. We're out of our day trades. Markets are looking a little bit at an interesting inflection point here, being the fact that they're about to go negative. That's certainly not a healthy sign for these market participants. But on that note, thank you all for tuning in. Congrats on the 5 for 5 day trades today. It's certainly always good to have profits in our pocket. And let's just see if these markets continue to flush. My next big support on the spiders is basically going to be this 408.40. 408.40, kind of by your gap window. That's where it looks like it wants to go potentially. And the volume today is good. It's decent volume. So this sell-off is not happening on light volume. It's happening on fairly decent volume. On the spiders, we're already at 22 million shares. So it's looking like we're probably going to do about, 80 to 100 million today. And markets are falling pretty sharply here. They are falling pretty sharply. Apple's trying to test the lows of the day. Tesla just made a new low of day after its gap up. Wow, AMD's fading. Meta just went negative. Gold is negative quite substantially. Look at that reversal in gold. Holy cannoli. This is a fantastic sell. Gold just being faded. Look at the dollar. The dollar's trying to make another move. Initial move up, pullback, higher low, boom. Spiders just went negative. Again, buyable bounce trade is at 408.40. This looks like this market could get a little bit nasty today. A little bit nasty. We will see if that comes to fruition. I mean, granted, the Qs are still up on the session, but things are not looking that positive as of now for the market. Could change. It could definitely change, but things are looking like they're heading into sell mode. GDX is getting demolished right now. PayPal put bearish consolidation. PayPal's another one to play to the trend on the downside. So if we look at PYPL, this one looks like it's going lower. If you take out these pivots, it's looking very, very tiresome for some of these stocks. But big sell-off in the spiders now. Big sell-off. Interesting. Alright, on that note, thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to wrap up the stream here. Definitely pay attention to the overall trend of this market. Considering the market's gapped up tremendously and now they're failing, it's a little bit of an indicator. But again, these markets are such a tricky point. We've seen these crazy whips up and down. And certainly market makers are enjoying this volatility as they eat up option premium throughout the day. Thank you all. Take care. We'll see you on the charts tomorrow.